Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler for our Monday recap episode. There are a lot of dubs this weekend. Big dubs for soccer and football. We're going to talk all about that. Even our softball team I know it's West Texas, but they murdered a really solid D2 program on the road on Sunday. A lot of people got into that. We got all the notes from a lot of different folks that were there. So we'll give you everything that happened in a 26-5 blowout for softball. Don't worry, that's coming up in this show. And everything else that's going on. We have volleyball coming up on Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit about their game coming up there. And then, of course, later in the week, don't worry, we will have your all-important football Kansas preview later in the week. I know the team can't survive without our scouting report, but remember that comes later. And it'll be an early episode. It'll be a Thursday episode because soccer has a massive currently top 10 ranked TCU, number 5 in the RPI, I believe, TCU, coming to town on Friday, preseason Big 12 champion or ranked, whatever, picked to win the conference, the reigning Big 12 champion from last year. TCU is coming to town. And if Texas Tech wins that, they really put themselves in a good spot to maybe get a Big 12 championship. So my first plea to you, and I'll kick it over to Tyler because I know he has a better pitch than I, is to be there on Friday for the TCU soccer game. I know it's homecoming week. Come in early, come in a day early, go watch soccer, then go enjoy all the concerts and stuff that are happening later that night. I think you can fit in both realistically because all the speeches and all the silly stuff that happens before all that, you don't need to see all that. You should come watch us beat TCU and then go do that. So that's my pitch. I'll flip it over to Tyler and then we're going to break down their dominant 2-0 win over a ranked Kansas team that just happened earlier today.
Yeah, and that dominant win against a ranked Kansas team puts us solely number one in the Big 12 in soccer. So not only do we have a number one soccer team in the Big 12, we also have a number one football team in the Big 12 as well. And you get to see both of them back-to-back days. That rarely ever happens. And this is your one-time opportunity. I've already told you about this trip. I think way back in August, I was like, guys, y'all need to plan it out. So yeah, come down on Friday night. It's the blackout dark mode activated game against TCU. I guarantee you that they are not. Flatland Calvary will not go on stage. I remember last year, like the main headliner didn't go on until like 9 o'clock at night. The soccer game will be well over by then. So y'all will have
the soccer players are going to be able to go enjoy the concert themselves after a big dub. So just ride, maybe carpool over. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Leave them alone. But follow them on over there after it's over.
Y'all will be fine. Y'all will be fine. So yeah, please go to soccer. It's going to be a huge game. And as you said, we'll pretty much control our own destiny after that game. I mean, there'll be tougher opponents along the way, but TCU by far is the game that I've had circled for years. So please, make it a whole homecoming weekend.
It's always a great game of soccer. Like, no matter where, I mean, bodies flying, tough. We're going to preview it later in the week on Thursday, but it's going to be a great soccer game. True NCAA top, like, Sweet 16 level matchup between the teams right here. They could both be pretty high seeds if they both continue to take care of business down the line. So, yeah, TCU is right behind us in the standings, too. So, they need this game, and they're going to play like it. Trust me. They're going to play with their hair on fire, and I can't wait to watch us put it out. That's all I'm going to say. Like we did to Kansas today. Number 21 ranked and top drawer, unranked in the NCAA poll. But, you know, I've always said, this is not be joking like you've heard me say on the show. I very much respect the top drawer poll more anyway, so we're going to count that. The team's counting it as a top 25 dub. Kansas, they are a good team. They're number 14. I think they actually moved up, even though they lost to us tonight, to number 12 in the RPI. Make it make sense. But they played a really good schedule. They drew with Florida State early in the year. They're very talented, and you kind of saw that. Pretty good keeper, athletic. We almost had 2 or 3 more goals in this, but she made some great saves. And then the biggest part of this, I thought, was our back line was very stout in this. We talked about in the preview. This was going to be a game that pressured our backline a little bit more than what we've seen because it's a team that is going to play more direct and going to send balls over the top, and they're going to play more aggressively than some of the teams we play where they're more defensive-minded. Kansas is going to go try and score, and then we scored early as well, which was great. And then that makes Kansas even more aggressive because now they got to try to find an equalizer. And our backline was great. All 4 players, 5 if you include Faith Wynn, played full 90s once again. Kylie Barr, all Big 12 player. I know that's maybe a bit that we're doing, but it's not a bit. I mean that. She should be an all Big 12 player. She was great. We talked about Lexi Watts in the preview, and I said, well, if she tries to come down Kylie's side, Kylie will shut her down, but everybody else is going to have to stand tall. And sure enough, that girl tried to take on Kylie Barr, and it didn't work for her a single time. Not a single time. She came into the game. For some reason, she didn't start, which is weird. I don't know if they're trying to catch us being tired or what, but they tried to bring their leading goal scorer off the bench, and it was like Kylie locked eyes with her like as soon as she entered the game and said, okay. And then just that one play down the line where she just straight like put her on her back and just play with her and watch the ball. And then the girl tried to like jump over her, and Kylie like just threw her on. It was great. It was greatness. So yeah, shout out Kylie Barr. Macy obviously on the other side. And then our two center backs, I thought, continue to just be underrated players. And Emily and McCartney and Eleanor Hayes were great. And we can't continue without saying Faith win, period. I got to talk with her in the post game, so we'll have some quotes from her in a minute too. But 5 saves on the game, some really solid ones, directing traffic as she does all game back there against some good attacking players in Kansas, and you shut them out. Only the 3rd time all year that Kansas has been shut out. They've scored like 25 goals or something this year. One of the higher up teams in the Big 12 offensively, and we said no, not today. Send them on back to Kansas, those fake birds that they are, with another loss. How about you, Tyler?
Yeah, those fake birds who brought a lot of fans that thought that they could
did.
chirp, but they're not real birds. So the chirping was never going to.
They tried, but no noise was coming out.
Power. Yeah, no noise. I don't know. They thought they were doing something, but they didn't. But yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, shout out to the back line. Especially Emily McCartney today. I mean, she's always working. She's always like playing 90 minutes every single time. Doesn't get a lot of recognition, but today, like the most insane, like just clearances and saves, getting that ball out of there when it was looking dangerous. And if y'all were at the game, y'all knew that win today easily
wild.
brutal. Like anyone that was shooting, like they could have shot from like the center of the freaking field, and it might have went in because of just how crazy the wind was depending on the direction we were playing. So there were several times Kansas had a lot of dangerous chances, and if it wasn't for our back line and then obviously Faith getting those saves, it could have been a different story, but we were still able to roll with it. As you said, Kylie Barr, she was on one today. Absolutely like the best. Just the best. That's what she is. All Big 12 player, as we've said. And as you said, the Emma Watts thing, my favorite part was, I was in the student section, so right in front of me, Emma Watts was trying to like push her around. So then finally, like Kylie kind of gave her like a little push nudge, and I think she got called for the foul or something like that. But then Kylie just like gave her the dirtiest stare of all time, and we were going wild. And the Kansas fans were so pressed about it, and we were just like, let's go Kylie. I mean, guys, the stinkiest stare you've ever seen in your life.
Absolutely the last person on the team you should try. Just giving you a free tip. A free tip to anyone that plays Texas Tech. Absolutely the last person on the team you should try to intimidate is Kylie Barr. And before you continue, I'll actually just throw in Coach Stone had a quote about her after the game. And he said, Kylie Barr, this is about her. He said, physically, from an intimidation standpoint, heading, blocking, shots, 1v1 defending, that kid is doing it all. Kylie Barr is having one heck of a season, and you saw it in this. So she's gonna have a really fun matchup in the TCU game, but this was a good start to it. But yeah, she's so fun to watch. I need them to just like solo cam follow. Maybe I'll just do it, but then I can't take pictures of the whole team. But like it would just be fun to watch just a solo cam of Kylie Barr during the soccer games. Good times.
Yeah. Oh, and I said I'm going to give Shelby half credit because she called for a Kylie Barr goal.
That's right. And she like almost came through for us.
Millimeters.
Oh my God. The way I almost fell over.
Yes.
And Kylie thought it was in too. Kylie was like celebrating and then it hit the post.
So close.
Man, she's so close. It's coming. It's going to come eventually. But
it's definitely going to come.
Just keep being aggressive like that. But yeah. I was like, oh my God, it almost happened. I'll take half credit.
Yeah, we'll give you the half credit. And then, other than that, Molly, I thought, looked really well today. And then Peyton had some really, really great chances today with the ball. I mean, she was very, very close to scoring. She was also my person that I said, Peyton's going to get a goal. She came very close. So we both were getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there with our predictions. But other than that, very, very solid win. I was just very glad we were able to take down Kansas. And again, winning 2-0 against this Kansas team is a pretty big deal. And I think this is where we're starting to see that. I think Iowa State call it the turning point of now we're playing Texas Tech soccer. And this is the team that we're used to seeing, right? Shutting them down and getting goals and playing aggressive.
Yeah, I still say the turning point when we win the Big 12, the turning point of our season for me was when Taylor Shudesky stood amongst four Houston Cougars that were trying to
Oh,
take her
yes,
on.
yes.
That was when I was like, this team has that about them. They're going to win the Big 12 championship. I'm just saying, I knew in that moment. I hope they go make it true, but I'll stand by that. But yes, definitely they're playing up to that attitude now. But you saw that back in the Houston game, and they're continuing it on. Let's show you the clip from Tom Stone, kind of his sort of summary of the game, and then we'll talk more about Taylor Shudesky, who had another great game, and other people that stood out as well.
Right, we did start off fast, and the team built. I think we kind of built our confidence from there. Although I feel like they stole some of that momentum late in the second half. They started passing the ball around and finding a middle player that was open, just based on our system versus theirs. They were finding an open player, which kind of stole some of our momentum that we had, and I think gave them some. But then coming in at halftime, we just adjusted how we were going to play them on the flanks, which gave us another free player now in the middle, and we were able to not let that happen anymore. I think that changed, swung the game back in our favor. So they're definitely a physical team, but not so physical that we got into stuff that we couldn't handle. We just needed to match that and be strong on the ball and care about getting to the ball first. And when someone did win the ball, having a support player there so they could get rid of it before they got double teamed or swarmed. And when those things happened, we were pretty good at breaking their pressure.
And speaking Tom said, basically kind of what we ran through, but the pressure, he's right. Kansas does want to get after you up top. They want to send balls over the top. All those things I thought we handled really well. There was a couple of kind of dangerous moments, but really the shots that they had that Faith had to save were kind of just good plays on their behalf. I didn't see like a ton of mistakes other than there were stretches where we started turning it over a lot, like he mentioned, but we seemed to clean that up pretty quickly at least and got away with it, I guess, if you could say. I mean, good teams are going to turn you over. Like, it's going to happen. We're going to see that on Thursday. Two teams in Texas Tech and TCU, they're going to go at it in what possession. We'll see who wins it. But yeah, I also asked him about our pressure up top because if you were at the game or watching it from the jump, it was very apparent that our forwards were on one. I mean, we always kind of press up top with our forwards and get after them, but Kansas just seemed like maybe it's that factor of wanting to get them back from losing in the Big 12 tournament last year. I don't know, but Raleigh Greason and Taylor Shudesky from the jump were all over them, forcing them into bad passes. Even if they didn't steal it like on the ball, they forced them into like a bad pass that our midfielders, or Emily, you mentioned, was winning a lot of headers on the back end. And we were just keeping the ball and just continuing to pepper them. And eventually Taylor Shudesky had a banger at the 10-minute mark. One of her best goals of her career, perhaps her best goal of her career. In fact, Tom Stone said her ability to finish up late and just that goal in general. She said she's always been a finisher, a pure finisher. She's always been a rebound monster and go with her head and finishing crosses. But now she gets half turn, makes good contact, and it's an absolute missile coming off her foot. I thought the goal she scored Thursday was one of the best she's ever scored here. ... That goal today was Z, Macy, and Janine. All of them rolled into one. That's an upper 90 absolute cannon. And she does. We talked about her on the last show. Like, she has such a quick shot, quick release, if you will. And this one was upper 90 over a large keeper who was making lots of good saves and just got it past her. And you couldn't stop it. Like, and her accuracy has just been on point. And, you know, I even asked Taylor after the game, like, where does that come from? And she's just as humble as possible. She's, you know, it's Taylor. But she said just a lot of practice. You know, she gets a lot of reps in. A lot of work has gone into building that. It just doesn't happen overnight. And it's really cool. You're starting to see it both in that goal, and then she makes another one later that's more of, he calls her the rebound monster or whatever. That one wasn't really a rebound, but in the second half, she gets a crossover from Peyton. This one touch out of the air finishes it a little bit less spectacular, but she gets it done, and she had 2 goals in the game. 1 goal last game. Big 12 Player of the Week. I'm just saying. We'll have to see what Seven Castine did. She might have had 3 goals on the week too, but ours were against better teams. I'm going to put that out there, I think. We had Kansas and Oklahoma State, and they had Iowa State. That doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. But yeah, like you said, Z today came out absolutely on fire. And yeah, with her size and I mean, and how much power she could really bring off of her leg, like that upper 90 today. I mean, it was just beautiful. And then she'll go on Seeing Scarlet and look at the Instagram post, like the first picture on it. Like, you
I'll
should see
just
how she was able to, yeah, upload
yeah,
it into
you can
the
keep
thing if you
talking and
can.
I'll upload it while you're doing it. But yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. She's literally like there's two Kansas defenders, and her leg is like almost like kind of intertwined between the two, but she was able to still like get a shot off while those two defenders' legs were like in the way. Like, I don't know how she was able to curve it up top, but and with the goalkeeper that tall, she was, I mean, just absolutely incredible. Like, I don't know how she does it, but she's a superwoman out there. And if she starts doing that for, let's just go ahead and just say TCU, she starts off that strong. I mean, very, very dangerous player. We knew she was a dangerous player, but she's about to make some waves right now in conference play if she hasn't already.
Picture. Hopefully you can hear us. But yeah, like Tyler said, like this is the moment that she scored the goal. You'll see it in the highlights, and it's super impressive in video form. Don't get me wrong, but when I was looking at the pictures afterwards when I edited it, I was like, this girl made it upper 90 like missile banger, as her coach described it, with someone completely taking out her other leg. Tyler, how does she's so strong, so strong. And I asked Tom after the game, like, have you seen an attitude shift in her at all now that she kind of is that player? Like last year she was trying to make a name for herself. Now everyone knows who Taylor Strudesky is. She's top of the scouting report, all those things. And he said, which I thought was kind of an interesting answer. He's like, you know what? He basically said, I don't really think it's changed how she plays because she kind of likes that people know. Like she welcomes more people being on top of her. She welcomes the physicality because she plays better when they get on top of her. She can turn and go. Like Faith Wynn talked about how good of a leader Taylor's become in practice and how going up against her in practice makes Faith Wynn a better player. And I think she said, what'd you say, Tyler? Like, I mean, if I can stop her, like, bring it on, basically, to the next person. Like, if I can stop Taylor in practice, like, who's next? You know, like, who else am I going to face that does that? And that's a very good point. And you kind of saw that from Faith tonight because she had 5 saves. That might be tied with her most this season in a game. And a couple of them were, like, pretty good diving stops where she had to punch it out of the air. And again, like we talked about at the beginning, like a team that was really more aggressive. TCU is going to be even more so. Again, that full preview is coming later, but it was kind of a good little warm up to get into a team that's going to really put the pressure on. And I thought she was great. And then I don't remember if we shouted her out yet, but Story Sexton I thought was really good in this game as well.
Yes.
So I want to make sure she gets her shine. And Tom said after the game that, yeah, he felt like Story was actually one of the stories. Gotta love Coach and his punnies. He said Story was one of the stories of the weekend between the Thursday game where she got her first career assist to Taylor on Taylor's goal on Thursday. And then this game, she almost led to a goal that Taylor almost chipped over the keeper that she made one of those crazy saves on. She forced a couple of turnovers, and one was like right to the foot of Taylor, and she took a whack, and most keepers aren't getting to that. So, yeah, Story was really good putting pressure on. And then she was a couple of chances where she was in front of goal and got her foot on it, and the keeper had to make a save. So, yeah, she's good to have come in, and because the way that Raleigh Greason plays, especially, like, that girl cannot play a full 90. Like, it's physically impossible to exert the energy that she does. She needs people, especially on a hot day like that, and Story came in and did a great job so she could be fresh for the second half. So we need that. We need someone like that to kind of start taking shape because we've talked about the postseason. Like, depth is where that really comes into play. And so it's good to see maybe those pieces off the bench starting to kind of find roles, and then maybe Emma Torres will come back down the line. Still no word on that, but if not, at least Story's kind of finding her footing, which is good to see. Because she was like a big part of the 2023 team, doing exactly what we've seen her doing of late for this team, just being a menace when she comes in the game. You're starting to see that again from her, which is nice.
Yeah, no, our depth is definitely going to be more important, and I really noticed it today because, I mean, guys, it was like even though there was that wind, I mean, it was like a freaking hot as hell out there.
Did not think it was going to be that hot. It was not that hot this morning when I got dressed and went to church, and then it was very hot when I left to go to the game, and I was like, well, I know. I'm already dressed, so F it.
Yep. I know. It was it was super hot, and like you started to notice near the end of the first half that like some of our like, I guess role player or larger starters, role players, whatever, they were getting a little bit more tired out and exerted just because
Yeah.
that heat is no joke versus a night game where it's cooler and they tend to go on a little bit longer. But it was really important today for people like Story to come in there and to start helping out and to start really even Alana today coming in for Z at some point. I mean,
Gianna
still,
Gianna
but
was
they
great.
need
She
and
won.
Gianna,
She's not the
yes.
tallest player. I don't even know if they put heights on the roster, but she doesn't seem very tall, but she gets up there on headers. Like she wins every single header. I'm like, who is
Oh,
this
yeah,
girl?
for sure.
Like just good luck. I mean, her
Bright spot in the
when
team for
Chloe
sure.
Soto's back next year, those two in practice are gonna have fun going against each other. Like they have the same type of attitude, same position, same attitude. So I really like what she's bringing to the team as well. And so you can kind of see people start to fall in their roles, which is actually I thought this was a great. Like you should go listen to the whole answer that Tom gave, but we were talking about all the different people coming in, like Story and other people, and he said you can just feel it in the group. They all want to be a part of the story. They don't want to just be along for the ride. They want to make their mark on it, whether it's the starters, the subs, or the ones cheering from the sidelines. They all care about writing this chapter together. And he went on to talking about like this 2025 team wants to do their own thing. He was kind of talking about the legacy of the program and how they built it up after COVID. Because if you've been following the program, they were on a rise. They were becoming a national like known name when the Janine Becky years and Hinkle and all those players, right? And then COVID kind of happened, and Kirsten Davis was at kind of the end of that right before COVID, and that really derailed our program, if we're being honest, for a few years. Like it did a lot of
Mhm.
programs, and now this hopefully will be 3 years in a row again back in the NCAA tournament, and so they're getting back to that. And so he was being honest about that. He's like, I wish we didn't have to rebuild it, but you're right, we have rebuilt it in the last few years. And this group though wants to write their own story, and he says he's starting to see that. He's starting to feel that they're just eager to all like make their mark and be a part of the story. We got to see, Millie Elwood became a part of the season story on Thursday, right? And Story had her own moment in
Mhm.
this game, and like who's going to be next. So that's encouraging because you got to have that, especially in this sport where God, depth is so dang important. It's great that we have all those
Oh
players
yeah.
that can play full 90s, but not everybody is a freak like Callie Barr and Macy Blackburn that can just sprint up and down the field for 90 minutes. Like, not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
So it's good to have depth. So it's fun to watch this team and can't wait to keep doing so. Let's show you the highlights and then we'll jump into what's next on the agenda. This is an early look for. My God, look what is going on with her lately. Like she has so much confidence, as she should. Just taking them from deep, like just turns and quickly gets it out. That was like less than a minute into the game. Here's the goal. This is the one I'm talking about. You saw the picture earlier.
Insanity.
You'll look at her show a replay. It's just as impressive. I don't know. I think the picture is more impressive, but the video you can see where she placed it and the power in the. But then you see that picture and you're like, she had someone draped all over her, like taking out her plant leg as she's shooting that, and it didn't lack for power at all.
It just missiles.
Look at this. You can see that girl coming late as she's shooting it.
Oh my gosh.
That keeper had no chance. And she's made a lot of saves and made a lot of saves in this game. Almost, she might have gotten a
Look
little
at
bit
that.
of a pinky on
Yeah.
that, actually. But just couldn't get her full hand on it. Man, she's so good.
Wow.
Taylor. Becoming one of the greats. She has such a cool story. We've talked about it before. Came back from injury. Back-to-back years now for Taylor Krzyzewski with 10 goals. And we're barely halfway through Big 12 play. So that is that one story. Sexton caused a turnover and she almost went to the exact same spot again. But with her left foot, because she's ambidextrous, hits it with her left foot this time and almost gets it in, but a great save by the keeper. But again, credit Story Sexton there for forcing that turnover to give Taylor the chance. Oh look, replays, we love it. Look at that, just almost chipped it right over the top. Great save.
That keeper would have gotten a hand, yeah. Would have been.
She was good. We're into the second half now. This is a Faith Win save. Was that Watts? I can't remember. But that was a solid save from Faith. I wish they had the Lexi Watts Callie Barr play that was in the first half. I might go find the clip just for fun. Show it to you another time. Yeah, that is Lexi Watts, their leading goal scorer. Like we said in our preview, like she can get it off from anywhere, and that was not a very big window.
Shout out to Kate for getting that cleared out.
Yeah. And then really, Eleanor didn't do a bad job there. She forced her into where she knew that Faith was going to be there. They trust each other. Peyton almost came through for you right here, Tyler.
I wanted this for her so bad.
I think that last touch maybe was a little long. But again, credit the keeper because she just took a chance and said, F it, I'm just going to run. I'm going to run out and I'm going to take a chance that I can get there and maybe caught her off guard. But Peyton made up for it because she said, I'll just give Taylor a goal instead with a perfect cross to the foot of Z. And then after this, everybody, all the players were doing, let's see if I can't, there we go. They were all doing the Z on the sidelines.
That's so cool.
So there you go. If y'all would like to join, that's what all her teammates were doing when Z scored. But you can also like actively see some of them trying to figure it out just like I did. And they were like, how do I and their teammates were like teaching them. But there you go. It's basically 2 guns up, just in opposite directions, but it makes a Z. Join the
dang, and that one she just like it looked like she just like kind of tapped it almost. Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you gotta do, right? Getting yourself into a good position is half the battle. We'll talk about that with TCU because they have a player that does that really well. And Seven Castine, she's always in the right spot. Here's a late chance from Kansas, another save for Faith. Just jumps up and says, I'll take that. Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciated how loud the crowd got for that. We have a sometimes knowledgeable soccer crowd at John Walker. They know when the big moments are there. They're really, really hyped for that. I think these are out of order because now anyway, it's fine. I don't know what's about to happen here. Is this Kylie's almost goal? Oh yeah, this is when Kylie cooks some fools. Like, let me just do-si-do all the way up the field, all by my little lonesome. Let me just cut in here, take a hack, and almost get my first career goal past the entire team.
Oh, so cool.
I mean, just it was great. It was so close. So close. That would have been massive for Kylie. But all Big 12 player scheduled tweet. I legitimately will stage a coup. I will rant for days if this girl is not an all Big 12 player. I need to do more research because I really do think it's the coaches that vote for that. Maybe I can just ask. I don't know. Can someone tell me? Can someone DM me? I think that's who votes for these. And I just don't know how coaches could watch our film. They have to be watching because they have to be scouting and not be like, I get they have Macy Blackburn. Macy Blackburn's going to be first team all Big 12 defender. Plays the same position as Kylie, but on the other side. I get that. But let's use some common sense and some fair just judgment here. And you cannot tell me that Kylie Barr is not an all Big 12 player as well. I'll say she's first team, but if you want to give her second team, I don't give a shit. But she better be on the team. She is one of the best defenders
for sure.
Conference. Make up a new position for her if you need to. Maybe actually Macy's the one that needs her own category because she's scoring and getting all the assists. But Kylie has a couple of assists.
Utility in soccer.
But she is a defender. She is absurd. Like you just can't beat her. So and she'll have a chance to really stamp that case against TCU. Have some stout outside backs and some speed, just like she's shut down against Baylor, just like she shut down against Kansas. She's going to have another chance to add to her very nice resume for a defender right now in this conference. And I will fight somebody. When I tweet that, I mean that, Tyler. I mean, I'm joking, actually. I'm going to get shut down. But I will fight you on Twitter. I will say some mean things about you on Twitter. If you don't know, she's great. And you can tell how much her teammates agree with that statement, how much she does. So very blessed to have her and blessed that this is not her last year at Texas Tech. Well, hopefully. Pro teams, you wait your little butts one more year. Kylie still has a year of eligibility left.
Let her wait it out.
Well, that's all I got. Any final thoughts? We'll have all the TCU. I'm excited to talk about TCU. They're a fun team again. We've been waiting for this matchup.
I am too.
The players are eager for it. We asked them about it after this. I'll show you those quotes and clips on Thursday, and we usually don't get to share the pregame media with you in our shows because of when they happen, when we're previewing. But we will this week because we'll have Wednesday media availability with Tom Stone. And we'll include that in our show that should come out on Thursday morning to preview soccer. Be there. Top 10 matchup as it stands right now. Chance to really put yourself in a good spot before they go on the road for 3 games. So this is really your last chance to watch this team for like 2 weeks as well, because they're on the road for a bit. Go, please. Say hey. I'll give you a high five. I'll take your picture. Do I need to start doing what I did for softball last year? Free pictures. Find me. Free family portraits. And you can ask the people at softball. I emailed them to them. It might take a few days, but I will email you a picture of your family. If you find me, I'll do group pictures. I'll take a picture with your dog, your kids. We'll do solos. We'll do Instagram shots, whatever you want. Find me free pictures, if that'll get you to the game. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we only, like you said, we only have 3 more regular season home games left. So after TCU, there'll only be 2 more, and that's at the very last week of October when we close out against K-State and UCF. So I know.
It's okay. We're going to be
so
here.
That's why you'll have to show up.
November.
And even if you're like, well, I'm not gonna be able to go to the football game because I just looked on StubHub, and for some reason the football tickets are, well, as they should, are astronomically high. Go watch soccer, and I'm sure there's so many watch parties in town for that Saturday for the homecoming game. Like, y'all can for sure make it to soccer. And then if you're not able to get a football ticket, there are tailgates. There's so many things that you can still do. So if you are thinking about making that trip to Lubbock, even if you can't afford the football game, you can afford a soccer ticket. Go out and support this team, because this team is worth way more than anything you can imagine. They're so good.
If you need some happy in your life, just go follow Texas Tech Soccer. How many times you have to tell it? I'm not saying there,
for sure.
There aren't some low times at times, but you can always trust them to bounce back as they've had, and they've done that really well this year. So always appreciate they do it the right way, and now they have a chance to really go do the damn thing on Friday, and I cannot wait. That environment's going to be so hype. You're going to want to be there. There's going to be bodies flying. It's going to be intense. Last year's TCU Texas Tech soccer game, it was on the road, was one of the most intense soccer. Take that back. One of the most intense sporting events I've ever seen. And it'll probably be the same thing on this field, because it always is. These 2 teams, it's not a hate thing. They know each other. A lot of them play together and all that. But very good soccer players, and they want to win. So we'll talk more about that on Thursday. Another team that got it done. Football. We weren't really concerned. We're trying to say it as respectfully as possible. We didn't believe that the Houston Cougars were a threat to us, and I feel like our team, even not playing great, went out and showed that. As Joey McGuire said, we should have scored 60 points in that game. But you still got out of there to win, and we don't apologize for wins, is what he said. And that's the right attitude. The players after the game were also the football team. Just talk about soccer. You know why I love soccer is because you can trust them. They always go about. This football team is taking on that same attitude. The post-game press conferences, they're always like, yeah, we did good, but we could do, we still got a lot of ways to go to get better. Like, imagine if all the phases of the game were clicking at the same time. Like, our team is so far from being where they can be, is what Baron Morton said after the game. You didn't used to hear that. I'm just going to be frank, not throwing shots. You didn't used to hear that about football. They'd win a game by like 2 points against a not great team, and we'd celebrate it like it was a Super Bowl. That's not happening. They're celebrating the win, and then they're in the postgame saying, yeah, but we got to do a lot better if we're going to win a championship. So that is what gives me hope the most from this game in a weird way. So what were your thoughts, Tyler? I know you get all the notes.
Yeah, I thought that we started off not capitalizing in the red zone, and that was a big thing. And I understand why. Like, I know there's a lot of tweets that were like, how we feeling at the half, and some of y'all need some more positivity in your life, because I was like, guys, like, I understand that y'all are stressed out, but at the same time, we are up by like double digits right now. I don't know why y'all are like, it's the end of the world. And I think y'all need to chill out, because yeah, we weren't able to get red zone drives, but yeah, we were still able to get points off of it. And I mean, honestly, the defense, we talk about the defense all the time. Oh my goodness. First of all, when you talk about Ben Roberts being able to grab that fumble because Houston wasn't paying attention and they threw it behind the line of scrimmage, dropped it, and that ended up being a fumble. We should have scored off of that, but it's okay. Or we did score off of it, but it should have been a touchdown. Fine, we converted it to a field goal.
Drop passes early, but anyway.
Yes,
continue.
Drop pass. Yes. Too many drop passes early. And then Jacob Rodriguez had that insane interception. Jacob Rodriguez.
I don't, my gosh. All the linebacker awards. He's won them. Done. Let's get him in line for the Heisman. I'll start the website. Like, how do we start the website?
We'll set it up. We'll also start Kylie Barr her own website
Yes.
too. We'll have both of them.
Kylie
We'll
Barr.
start.
I'm gonna start putting Jacob Rodriguez Heisman. Although, like Kylie Barr, like I'm legitimately will fight someone. Jacob Rodriguez would be a little bit ridiculous if he won the Heisman.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
But yeah, no, Jacob Rodriguez with that interception was insane. And then David Bailey, our sack merchant, I mean, just had all of them bamboozled back there. I mean, they had no chance. Houston had to put in 2 quarterbacks, and both of them threw an interception each, and they all got sacked by David. I don't know what was going on with the Houston quarterback situation, but it didn't matter. And then Brendan Jordan got his interception.
Wrong safety.
Off
I almost had it.
the second
I was so
Houston
close on
quarterback.
both of them.
Oh,
Just
I
took the
know.
wrong-
So we're getting there. We're getting there. Our predictions are getting there.
We're in
We're
the
getting
ballpark.
so close. We really almost had it. We're in the ballpark. But yeah, other than that, the red zone drives, yeah, we weren't reaching our potential early, but then we were able to start capitalizing, getting some things. Cam Dickey started off with that 69-yard touchdown, which was electric. I mean, it was really great for us to get on the board. Kind of almost got us out of that funk. And then Jacoby Williams, shout out to him. It was really his night. Matter of fact, he was the one that had, I think he's the one that had, 2 touchdowns of the night. All of our Cam Dickey had that 1 touchdown. Yeah, Jacoby Williams had 2 touchdowns. Jacoby ended up having 19 carries for 107 yards. He was just pushing himself through. I mean, again, he's one of the most craftiest running backs right now on our team. And as I said, I mean, I don't know how he pushed through, but it's just so cool to see how the O-line like really made that tiny space for him to just run right through for that second touchdown. Really cool to see them helping him out and all of our running backs out. But it was definitely, our rushing game really had to step up. For sure.
They rushed for over 200 yards between the two. You don't typically get 100-yard rushers against Willie Fritz's defense, and rushing hasn't necessarily been our strong suit. Our running backs have been great, but they've been involved in the pass game, which you saw in this. Cam Dickey had like a 70-yard touchdown catch in this too, out of the backfield.
Yes.
But yeah, especially in the fourth quarter, I think we just ran it every play on the final drive, and then just had mercy and started kneeling, or we would have scored on that drive too. But yeah, good stuff from Jacoby. He's very shifty, and people think that like, oh, he's not the strong back or he can't handle going in between the tackles. No. And they said in fall camp, I mean, the coaches said that he's the toughest guy in the running back room. I mean, Cam Dickey's a tough dude, but that tells you how tough Jacoby is. Like, and if you tell this kid that he's too short, that he's too small, he will literally punch you in your face. And that's not me saying that. That is a quote from his running back coach. Said you go. I think someone asked him about his size. Someone in the media, and he's like, "Go tell Jacoby that, and he'll punch you in the face." like in a good way. Like he's aggressive that way. So yeah, we have two really salty backs, and they just got to keep doing what they do. But David Bailey to me was the most impressive on the defensive end. There was one drive in the second half where it's like he just mauled them on every play. It's like he chugged an energy drink and went out there and got a sack, a forced fumble. We didn't get the fumble, but he forced the fumble and just was like throwing people around in the backfield. And I was like, what? It's like, oh, I'm tired of messing around. We're going to go finish them here. So good stuff. We kind of played with our food in this game a little bit. But you still won. And yes, our fans are going to be fans about it. I guess you can fan however you want to. It just seems like a really depressing way to fan is like if everything doesn't go perfect, you are just upset. Like, how about everything didn't go perfect and we still won by 3 scores? You can acknowledge both and be like, wow, we could be so good. And that should be exciting. Not, wow, we suck because we can't do this. Like, give them the benefit of the doubt. They'll figure it out. I think it's just the PTSD from past years of sucking. Like that graphic that we posted on Twitter that went viral. It's kind of like that. That was like best defensive or best pass defense or total defense since 1962. Best pass defense since 1964. Best rush defense since ever. It's been a minute since we've been good. This good. And I think our fans just have trouble understanding what that means. They want perfection. Always. But you win.
Yeah. And it's not
not a bad thing, but the way
like
I
at the
just
same
like feel
time,
bad for him. I'm like, I get it, but like let me happy.
I know.
We're 5-0.
But guys, look at the ceiling here. Look at the ceiling. Quit concentrating on what our floor is at right now. We gotta look at our ceiling. When I start
following one of our teams that has a very low ceiling, that's when I start getting depressed. Because I'm like, There's no hope. Like, what do you want me to do here? Football? Oh my god. Excitement galore.
Especially when you're seeing how other teams in the country are doing. Which, by the way, speaking of that, because of Penn State dropping out of all the rankings, and that school down in Austin for losing to the Florida Gators,
the 1 in 3 Florida Gators,
the 1 in 3 Florida Gators, and dropped out of the rankings after being preseason #1. Oh, can we talk about how they guaranteed Texas Tech a spot in the top 10? And this is the highest ranking since 2008 because that 2013 team only made it to number 10. So we are now number 9 coming into the AP poll. And I mean, that already is just bringing even more excitement. And this homecoming game this weekend, I mean, it's probably going to night game at the Jones, going to be the most electric game I think ever. I mean, I was how old? I was 4 years old the last time Texas Tech was ranked higher than 10.
That is insane.
Like, I'll get to watch this in person.
That is insane. I was not 4 years old. Anyway, so that's the last time that this team has been in the top 10 at all. Well, that high, because I guess 2000, whatever, they were 10. So this time we're going to win, though, because if I remember correctly, 2 games later we lost after that. Not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
We'll talk about the J-Squawks. I'll play all the J-Squawks this week, because volleyball has them, too.
I know. How did that happen? Oh my gosh. They're going to be so depressed, hopefully, at the end of the week.
Yeah, let's really depress their entire program. Come through for me one time. But yeah, any other thoughts?
Speaking of positivity, let's talk about how at halftime, which I think this is so cool, when you put Texas Tech on national TV, it is making these recruits. 5-star Jalen Brewster, #1 defensive lineman or DL in the class of 2027, committed. Like, this is the second time that's happened, I think, in the middle of a Texas Tech football game.
I really need these recruits for all sports to start understanding what a news cycle is for their own sake. They really just don't get the hype they deserve when they do that, but it's their life. So that was exciting, yeah. Good for him. I'd heard that we were trending in the right direction. Kind of everyone expected that over the last few weeks, but another 5-star we're just recruiting. Class of 2027, though, so it's a long time from now. I don't really get too excited until they actually sign. But for now, he's a Red Raider.
He is. Oh, and we can't go ending the football segment without shouting out our fans painting 40% of that stadium red, throwing tortillas. I mean, Houston, you have a problem. And if you want to keep scheduling us for your blue games, go ahead and do that because we will win every single time. Basketball and now football.
Really good. It's really working for us. Baron Morton in the postgame said, you know how we said it was a bit egregious that we didn't have a silent count for the Utah game? He said that they prepared a silent count for this game, and then they followed it up with, "Oh, did y'all use it?" And he said, "No, we didn't have to use it. It was a home game for us."
I saw that and I thought it was maybe AI because I didn't get to have a chance to watch it, but the fact that he actually said that, badass.
That's our QB1. He played pretty well. I mean, everyone's like nitpicking our quarterback because that's what you do, but he had almost 400 yards, a touchdown, no turnovers. Again,
70% completion. I mean, no interception.
Yeah, no turnovers. And if he would have had 2 more touchdowns if people would just catch the ball.
No, literally.
I posted the Little Giants meme from the kid that couldn't catch, and they told him to envision the toilet paper. That's what I posted during that phase where we were all dropping. And then all of a sudden we started catching them. Sometimes you just gotta, manifest.
Egg it on.
Yeah. So if we catch passes, his line looks better. So fans are gonna fan though. It's like whatever. Watch the game however you want to, I guess. But I thought he looked solid. Like, yeah, our whole team was pretty rough in the red zone. But if you catch the ball, 2 of those red zone trips, our wide receivers dropped screens that if they caught, they were walking into the end zone. They were blocking us there. So, and then he threw a dime to Caleb Douglas. Like, I thought it was the guy made a good play, and then they showed the replay, hits him in the hands, and didn't catch him. So close. So,
but despite all these woes, yeah, we still won. And I know a lot of people haven't been watching College Game Day because I'm not gonna lie, it's just all like SEC, Big Ten, just shoved down your throat the entire time. But they did have this one cool stat, and Texas Tech is still one of the only teams, I don't know how the other 2 did, but we're still one of the only teams to not trail yet in a game. Pretty cool stat. So y'all want to be depressed, but we have not trailed yet in a single game this season at all. Even after we were playing not great against Houston Cat-wise in red zone.
We still have only allowed 14 points in the first 3 quarters of games, and 11 of those came in this game from Houston.
Wow.
Good job, Houston.
Wow.
Yeah, they got
Good
that
job.
one long pass where Brendan Jordan got a little tripped up, but otherwise their offense wasn't doing anything. I think I felt somewhat bad for the Houston fans because we said last week, like, they really are confident going into this game. And it's like, I wanted to be like, oh man, I remember when we were you. Like, we were trying to build a program that could compete at this level, and like we would get our hopes up and really think that we had a team, and then we go play Texas and just get our like teeth knocked in. And I was like, I feel like that's what's about to happen to Houston, and I just feel bad for them. And that's what happened. And so after the game, their fans were like, oh, yeah, we're just not quite there yet. Like, it's going to take a few years, which is all true. Like, they didn't just move. They moved up a conference into the Big 12. So they're just not quite there yet, talent-wise and depth-wise. And Texas Tech has been there. So, like, I get it. But that's why going to that game, I was just like, oh, bless their hearts. They really think they're going to win. And you just knew that they weren't. Like, our defensive line is just too good. Yeah, so we'll see. Kansas presents a little bit more of a threat just because their quarterback, he's finally healthy and he's like in his 8th year of eligibility. How long has he been here? We'll talk about that later in the week. So we'll see if he can give us a little bit more trouble. But I mean, and Romello Height, Lee Hunter, SGH, and David Bailey, I trust. And then our linebackers, Jacob Rodriguez for Heisman.
Yeah. Like, period.
Well, more on football later in the week. Again, we know the team cannot survive their 5-0 with our scouting reports. We all know that's why. So we'll give you that later in the week. Tyler will have all of his stats and notes. I'm sure he'll get the team ready to go on Thursday's episode. But we also had a fall ball game that was against an actual opponent, Tyler. We couldn't go because it was today and it was in Canyon, Texas. Sold out crowd, oversold out. They had standing room only is what I was told. They sold more tickets than they could fit into their little stadium. Packed place, and we did the damn thing. 29-5. Tyler, I know we got some notes from some people, and you looked up some stuff on IG, so I'll let you go off, but I think I heard there was 8 home runs in this. We were just yabooming everywhere.
Yeah, we really were yabooming everywhere. I'm going to read off what the official Texas Tech account posted, and then we can get into more of the nitty-gritty of the stuff that may or may not be skewed, but you know what? We're going to believe it because the team is good. Yeah. But first, Taylor Panel started off the game with a double, and then Desiree Spearman had a home run.
I think that's her first.
Put Tech up 4-0 on top of third. I think it is. And we knew that Desiree, like, she came in with like a 400 batting average, so we knew that it was bound to happen. So good for her to do that. Haley Toney, we know she can get home runs. She got a home run, put Tech up 8-0. Classic Haley Toney. Taylor Panel had her second double of the day later in the game. And then the most important thing that they posted, they had to have a mandatory snack break led by Maya Davis and Vic Valdez. I think they had hot dogs. I'm not sure what was in the foil wrap. It's either hot dog, sausage wrap, but it was something that had to be hot. So they had a mandatory snack break because, you know, this team, we got to fuel this number one team in the country.
It's better than a third inning party or whatever. Sorry, KT. You're with us now, so no offense. Yeah. But I'm sure she's just as happy to be away from that as I was to never watch that again. But I much prefer a mandatory snack break mid-game. That's the way to go.
Yeah, pretty high. And then Sam ended up entering the circle when it was the 13-2 mark. Des also went in and pitched in the circle, only let up 2 runs and had 5 Ks. And then also KT started in the circle with 6 Ks, no runs allowed. After Sam came in, Jackie List ended up hitting her first home run as a Red Raider, putting this up 17-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Listen, guys, it's a D2 school. For sure, we should be doing this to them, but we haven't in the past when we played West Texas as a softball program.
We haven't.
And they're a good D2 program. They've won 2 national championships. Last year, they lost in the regional final to the eventual national championship. One of their best players from last year now plays for Alabama, I think. Some SEC school she transferred to this year. Like, they have good players. And so 29-5 is a little bit ridiculous. It wasn't 10 innings, I might add, so they played 3 extra innings than a normal game. Right. But still, that's a bit absurd. In fact, if we didn't play the last 3 innings, we might have blanked them because I think they got most of their runs in the final 3 innings, but that's beside the point. Yeah, so you did what you're supposed to do, but Geez, these numbers continue.
Well, and then we're talking about Taylor Pannell getting all of her doubles, but then finally she was able to hit it over the wall and get a homer. So now it's 20-3 at the top of the ninth inning. And you're like, all right, like Tech put them to bed. It's probably over now. But remember, Lauren Allred gets hits, and Queen Lauren Allred hit a grand slam. This is the girl that ended OU's dynasty single-handedly. Grand slam. Makes it 24
all these new
3.
All these new players. Lauren Oliver is still my favorite hitter on the team. Someone's gonna have to steal the crown from her.
I mean, clutch.
You can try, but
clutch. And then right after Lauren Allred, Lagi Quiroga, the transfer from Cal, comes up to the plate, and she said, "Oh, Lauren, hold on, we're not gonna stop this right here. I need to hit my home run bomb." And she makes it 25-3.
Damn.
And that was the last of the updates we got from softball as far as like scoring wise. But we ended up getting, I think, 4 more runs after that. But still.
Pretty solid stuff. I think Mia Williams maybe had another home run, was one of the other ones mixed in there we heard. It's hard to keep track, so I don't blame people for losing track in there when you score that many runs. But we said on the show on Friday that, like, our hitters are excited to face someone that's not named, especially Caitlin Terry, who's been pitching mostly to this lineup that played today of late, and they played like it. And even Sam on the other end, I heard Sam looked really good. Her velocity, her movement was good. Maybe walked a couple of batters.
Didn't have a single run allowed.
Didn't allow a run. And she's been like having to go against this lineup too. They haven't just been like throwing Sam out in fall ball against, there's not really a B team, if you will, but every once in a while they'll have a lineup where it's a lot of freshmen. They haven't really been letting Sam go up against the lineup that's a lot of freshmen. She's always going up against the Taylor Pannells and the Mia Williams and all that. And so she's been through the fire in the fall, and it sounds like she was like, oh, thank goodness, let me go do what I do and show people. So yeah, that's good for her. And someone sent some notes and they just said they couldn't touch Casey. I think someone got a hit, but it was kind of like a blooper. And then they just had no answer for her, and she was just, the words they used were really, really, really good. Caitlin Terry. Good player. So excited that we have her on the team.
When you break it down like that, for sure. And then some other stats in. Everybody was able to pitch in this game. Chloe ended up having 2 Ks, allowed 3 runs in this. And then as far as other batting, Maya, she had a single and RBI triple, and apparently she had this spectacular full extension dive catch.
Both people that sent us notes described it the same way, so it must have been absurd.
Wow. Maya Davis is fun to watch. Y'all knew that? And I shouldn't have said single-handedly Lauren Allred helped them win the game. Maya Davis was the one that ran into the home plate, so it was a joint effort, obviously, that ended OU's dynasty. So she has speed. And then looks like Alana Johnson, as we said, had a homer, RBI double, a single, and then another double. And then Logan Holloman had a 2 RBI single and then another RBI single. So Logan Holloman getting her hits, beautiful bunts, speed. I mean, this team is just stacked. I mean, you can't look at this team and be like, they're one of the top 3 teams in the country. I'm going to go ahead and say they're number 1. People will disagree about that, but it's just really, really fun to watch that. And then kind of like, as you said, with Sam, as far as that, honestly, she was kind of getting lit up by our All-American, batting things and inter-squad scrimmages, but that makes her a better pitcher. Kind of like similar to what they said in soccer today, when Faith is like, when Z is kicking like that, I can say Z shot. Who's next? I mean, Sam is probably like, who's next? Like, give me the OUs of the world. Give me the Jocelyn Olas. Bet. Let's just see what we can do. It's just really cool.
I've had to face Mia Williams, Taylor Pannell, Lauren Allred, Maya Davis, insert everybody else on this team 3 times a week for the last 3 weeks. Get me out of here.
She was so relieved. She's like, finally, I can cook. I mean, just so insane. So y'all have the opportunity to finally see them play in their first game. I think against Odessa College. If we can beat D2 West Texas A&M 29-5. Oh Lord, poor West Texas College. They're gonna get run out of the stadium. But y'all go watch them, please. I saw OU had over 2,000 people or whatever at their fall ball game, and I know that y'all will support them. So y'all extend that, check out of your hotel, and then go to that softball game this Sunday at 1:00 and watch it. Let's really pack Rocky Johnson. I know if the team, Coach Glasgow, you'll get to see this team that literally is preseason, number 1, 2, or 3, depending on what rankings you look at. I mean, this is the team to watch in Lubbock. 3 hot tickets in town. Please go see softball on Sunday.
I mean, men's basketball has a chance to win a national championship, absolutely, but odds-on favorite on campus to win a national championship of the major team sports, well, track probably, but even that's it's track. It might be tough for them even. So I actually think softball probably has better chance than track to win a national championship, like just with the talent on their team. So go watch them early so you can say you were there when. And it's a little bit better chance to interact with the players too. Like it's going to get really tough, especially with new rules and all the things. Sounds like Nija and all them were signing a lot of autographs after this game. If you really do want to interact, get pictures and stuff, it might be your best chance. And I'm being serious, to go in the fall at this game. I don't know what we're going to do when the season gets here. Last year, I think they signed like every Sunday. I just don't know, just based on all these new rules that are in place. I don't know if that's going to be a thing this year. I'm just being honest to help you guys out. And if you want a picture with some of these players, I'm sure there'll be opportunities during the season too. But this might be your best chance, because I would guess I can ask and we can mention it on Thursday if they're going to do some sort of post game thing with the fans or not. But I bet they'll come in the stands. They've been doing that at some fall ball games. I would not be shocked if they would do that at this big game too. And it's also alumni weekend, so a lot of your favorite past players might be in town. I've talked to a few that said they were planning to come for the football game and they're going to stay for softball. So you should have a handful of those that you saw them up in Oklahoma City. They're going to come for this. So yeah, softball's hype. We'll give you a breakdown of what happens on their Tuesday game on Thursday's episode, and talk a little bit more about maybe Odessa if we learn any new fun facts about what they're doing. But it's 1 p.m., right? Sunday?
Yes, 1 p.m.
Free admission. Just walk in, have a time. Great times ahead. I don't know. Maybe they're playing 10 innings as well. They played 10 innings at West Texas. I don't know what the plan is. That's usually what they do.
That'd be fun.
Try to get more people in the game. We'll see. All right. Last on the list, we have volleyball this week. We didn't talk about the TCU game yet, right? So it was on Saturday. They got swept by TCU. TCU is very good at volleyball. We had moments where we fought against them and kind of pushed them here or there. We started the second set 5-0. You're like, hey. And then TCU did what they do. They're just really good at volleyball. They do have a chance to take on another ranked team. This is Big 12 volleyball for you. Everybody they play is ranked. In the Kansas J Squawks, Fake Birds, also in volleyball this week. Soccer won. Then volleyball is going to win. Then football is going to win. And the whole state of Kansas, especially in Lawrence, is going to hate us. But we got to get it done on Wednesday. It's at Kansas, so you can't go to it. But we can watch it on ESPN Plus.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's see. We'll see if we can do it.
We beat them a couple of years ago. They were ranked.
We did.
Reverse sweep.
We did it. I mean, yeah. And I mean, the TCU game, it seems like some things are getting there and then sometimes things aren't getting there. But like, I thought an interesting stat was in the first set. Literally every single stat was about even. And then it got to the freaking aces and serving. And TCU just has one of the best serves in the entire country. And then that we just kind of, we weren't able to respond. They were pushing us out of system a lot.
I think Evan Hendricks is her name. Hendricks is her last name for sure. She's like should be in the running for player of the year in the country. Very good. Fun to watch. But we had some moments. I'm sure on some level it was enjoyable for our players, especially the ones that transferred here from smaller schools. That's when they came here. But let's go get a ranked win. Let's get our first Big 12 win of the season. Also a ranked win, and get some confidence flowing. And we'll keep covering them as they go. I think they'll probably have a weekend match that we'll talk about on Thursday. So we'll be able to recap their game on the Thursday episode as well. We'll probably record right after that ends, and then we're going to get to show highlights. Because we only show highlights if you win.
Right.
So we're going to get to show them. It's going to be this Thursday. I don't know.
Manifest.
Yeah, I'm just hoping. It's all I can do right now. But keep doing the dang thing. I know the players are working hard, so it's tough. I don't want to... There's not much else to say. It's the same thing every week. So just got to keep supporting them and see what happens, and we'll see where they end up by the end of the year, and then that'll be that.
Yep.
That'll be that. All right, Tyler, any other things that we need to mention on this show before we get on out of here?
If we haven't stressed it enough, you have 3 hot tickets in town. Got to go to Soccer Friday, Football Saturday, and Softball on Sunday. And then, yeah, just be prepared for that. But please, please, please be in town and show up to all 3 of those, because these are some really, really good programs. 2 of them are top of the Big 12. One of them is already just great. nationally great. Like,
Yes, for sure. Might have to make a bunch of graphics. Maybe I'll just spam Twitter every day with something about showing up for all three. We're gonna come up with something. I know Raider Riot's gonna do your thing. Is Raider Riot gonna show up to the softball game?
Ooh, that'd be
maybe a little
it's
test, a little
interesting.
test, a little
Giving
test
us
run,
ideas.
a little test
Let's
run.
do it.
All right, guys. See y'all at all the events this weekend. Find us, say hey, and most of all, say wreck 'em. Wreck 'em.